tes tes.
Can we get balik? Tuesday, June 2nd, 2020, the 23rd day of the fourth regular session of the 21st Congress will now come to order. May we all bow our heads for a moment of silent prayer. Okay, Chief Clerk, roll call.
Senator Aritos,
Yes.
Senator Christian, Senator Christian, Senator Figuer. Speaking. Figuer is sitting in. He's there. Not responding. Senator Conman, Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Ned, Senator Palik,
Yes.
Senator Perman, Senator Romulo,
Amen.
Senator Ismail, Senator Wali,
In quorum here.
Speaker Simina.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, 14 members are present.
Okay, we have a full house today. We have quorum to transact business.
Speaker,
Yes, for Leader Harbor.
I move to dispense with the reading of the journal.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we dispense with the reading of the journal. Those in favor say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. We now dispense with the reading of the journal. Next item.
Item 5, Presidential Communications, none.
Next item.
Item 6, Everson Supreme Court Communications, also none.
Continue.
Item 7, Member Communications, none. Item 8, Departmental Communications, none. Item 9, Agency or Governmental Authority Communications, also none. Item 10, State Communications, none. Item 11, State Supreme Court Communications, none. Item 12, Municipal or Town Communications, none. And item 13, Foreign Government Communications, none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, we're now on our order of the day.
Realik.
Item.
Yeah, finalize one na. Since the hour of breakdown. I was already 21.
Order is subject to Back. Congress is back in session. We're on the standing committee reports. You have a point of privilege, Chairman Norsimal.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I rise on a point of privilege to share a very rare opportunity for the YAP delegation to introduce constituents who are observing our session. So it is indeed an honor for me to recognize the presence of the Deputy Director of Health Services, who's here lobbying with the YAP delegation and with Congress to change use of some money for something to make it available for the COVID-19. So that's the purpose of the visit. And his name is Dominic Tarumay, and he's from the Plenty Fish Island of Europe. So please give him a round of applause.
I'll tell him I like his T-shirt. I read The Infidel, but
Thank you, Chairman Norsimal, for introducing a good friend of ours. And yes, I encourage him to continue to seek more money from the two of you and Chairman Figueroa. You have so much money just lying around, and I am, pleased to say that in front of him while he's listening in, so he can hear me. You and Chairman Figueroa have so much money just sitting around.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. We're just waiting
Yes.
for the governor.
Of course, that's another way. You can make the Director of Health Services a lot.
Yeah, I thought that was him, begging the chairman of the delegation.
Okay, so let's continue. Any standing committee reports, Chief Clerk?
Mr. Speaker, there are none.
Any special committee report? Item 15.
Also none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, any assignment of measures?
There's no assignment.
Okay, next item,
None,
unfinished
Mr.
business.
Speaker.
First, unfinished business.
Mr. Speaker, under unfinished business, we have CB number 219 CD2 for second reading. CB number 21-219 CD2. It's a bill for an act to further amend Public Law 20-178 as amended by Public Laws numbers 21-1, 21-7, 21-36, 21-53, 21-56, 21-102, and 21-115 by amending sections 3, 4, and 6 thereof to change the use, allotee, and lapse date of funds previously appropriated therein, to fund public projects and social programs for the people of Koshai, Pohnpei, and Chuk states, and for other purposes.
Okay, do we still need to short recess subject to call of the chair? This is an unfinished business. If I recall, we're in discussion, so we don't need to remake the motion for passing. Okay. Congress is back in session. So we're now on discussion of the unfinished business, CB 21-219 CD2. Chairman Christian, Senator Christian. you have
Mr.
the floor.
Speaker, when we broke off yesterday, I was saying that there would be amendments being offered, and it has been written up, typed up really clean, and Senator Ned has attached one more item to it. And so before the members is an amendment offered by yours truly to Congress Bill 219 CD2. I so move for its adoption.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the offer for amendment to CB 21-219 CD2 offered by Senator Christian be adopted. Chief Clerk, it's kind of short. Can you please just read it into the record?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, we have a floor amendment to CB number 21-219 CD2 offered by Senator Peter M. Christian. Item 1 of this amendment on page 4, lines 4 and 6, delete the phrase or words Polangas Port. Oh, I'm sorry, let me repeat. Polangas Sports Centers and insert water supply in lieu thereof. Item 2 of the amendment on page 4, line 22, delete the figure 40,000 and insert the figure 20,000 in lieu thereof. Item 3 on page 4, line 25, delete the word circumferential. Item 4 of the amendment on page 5, line 10, delete the figure 48,703 and insert the figure 76,703 in lieu thereof. Item 5 of the amendment and the last item on page 7, lines 24 and 25, delete the words Woman Christian Association in Guam travel needs to Maui, Hawaii, and insert Kapintao Church Civic Center in lieu thereof.
Okay, there you have it. For Leader Harper, any motion to suspend? Any rules to suspend?
Yeah, I move that any rule that may impede our action on the said amendment, especially the rule that prohibit substantive amendment on second and final reading.
Second.
So
moved and seconded that the relevant rules, specifically the rules prohibiting substantive amendments on second and final reading, be suspended. Those in favor say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Those rules are now suspended at this point. So discussion on the offered for amendment. Short recess subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. Senator Christian? Senator Christian, you have the floor.
I'm trying to ask Lamb and Alec, how do I explain to you folks, you gentlemen, that
Just can you
the
please make a
outreach
motion
program?
to-
Okay, all right, Mr. Speaker, I move that are we back in session?
We are back in session.
I move that my amendments be deferred to the end.
Okay. Of
If
the
I
bill
defer to the end of the bill calendar, the whole bill goes to the end of the bill calendar.
Yes,
Mr.
that's-
Speaker, I withdraw my motion for adoption of my amendments.
Okay, there's a motion to withdraw the offer for amendments. If there's no objection, the motion is withdrawn. Okay, make a motion to defer said bill to the end of the bill calendar.
Mr. Speaker, no, my motion is simply to withdraw my amendment, proposed amendment to the bill so that other members who have amendments can go ahead and make their amendments now.
Okay, your amendments have been withdrawn. The motion for adoption of your amendments has been withdrawn. So any further discussion on CP 21-219 CD2? Any further discussion? If none, there's no objection. Debate is closed. Short recess. offer your amendment. Conclude this back in session. I will now reopen discussion on CP 21-219 CD2. Senator Christian, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. As earlier discussed, an offer of amendment has been presented, and I so move for its adoption.
Second. It's been moved and seconded.
Mr. Speaker,
That the offered floor amendment by Senator Christian to CP 21-219 CD2 be adopted. The relevant rules
Mr.
are
Speaker.
suspended. Discussion. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I made an error in my addition, so I need to go back to school. So on item 4, in the list of amendments, instead of 76,703, it should read 68,703.
Okay. I think that's a technical because the amount to match up with that new amount you just offered orally. So we'll treat
Yes,
it.
thank you, Speaker.
The amount is 68,703. So any discussion on that offer for amendment by Senator Christian? Discussion. If none, if there's no objection, discussion is closed. So let's vote those in favor of adoption of the offer for amendment to CP 21-219 CD2 by Senator Christian. I say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. The offer for amendment to CP 21-219 CD2 is adopted. We now have CD3. Any further discussion on CD3? Discussion. None. If there is no objection, debate is closed. So let's vote by roll call of delegations.
State of Joe, Chairman Aritos.
Yes.
State of Bombay, Chairman Perman.
Hey, man.
State of Koshai, Chairman Wali.
Yes.
State of Yap, Chairman Orsmal. Mr. Speaker, all the 4 states voted for.
11 o'clock.
Number 21-219 CD3 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill, next unfinished business.
There are no more unfinished business, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. We will now go down to our next item, item 18. That's the bill calendar. First bill, Chief Bird.
Mr. Speaker, we have CP number 21-225 for first reading from your Committee on Ways and Means. CP number 21-225 is a bill for an act to amend sections 1, 2, 8, and 9 of Public Law number 21-42 as amended by Public Laws numbers 21-55, 21-77, 21-94, and 21-116 to the appropriate $780,000 of unallotted funds from the General Fund of the Federated States of Micronesia for the fiscal year ending September 30, 2020, in order to provide supplemental funding for the operations of the national government of the Federated States of Micronesia, to provide supplemental funding for staff housing and for other purposes.
Okay. Chairman Figueroa. Chairman
Move
Figueroa.
for the passage of Congress Bill 21-2119 on first reading.
Any second?
Short recess, Mr. Speaker.
Any second?
Short recess.
To call to chair. Congress is back in session. Chairman Figure, please restate your motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Congress pass on first reading Congress Bill 21-225.
Second.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded that Congress pass on first reading CP number 21-225. Discussion. Any discussion? Chairman Ursumo.
Speaker,
Chairman Ursumo.
I believe there is something attached to 225. So can we go ahead with the attachment?
Please clarify yourself. There's no such thing as an attachment.
Well, there is an amendment, a proposed amendment. Yours truly that.
Yes, amendment.
You have a proposed amendment, so make a motion for adoption if it's already written up.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I move that the proposed amendment by Joseph Che Urusman be adopted.
Second.
Second. Moved, seconded that the offer for amendment to CP 21-225 be adopted. It's offered by Chairman Ursumo. Because of its length, which is short, we will dispense. So we will have Chief Clerk read into the title. The relevant rules will suspend it up to this point. Chief Clerk.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, we have a floor amendment to CP number 21-225 offered by Senator Joseph J. Urusmal. Item 1 of this amendment in the title, third sentence, delete the figure $780,000 and insert the figure $795,000 in lieu thereof. Item 2 of this amendment on page 1, line 5, delete the figure $71,398,570 and insert $71,380,570 in lieu thereof. Item 3 on page 8, line 11, delete the figure $17,761,230 and insert the figure $17,746,230 in lieu thereof. The last item on item 4, page 16, line 15, delete the figure $735,000 and insert the figure $720,000 in lieu thereof.
Okay, there you have it. Discussion on the other oral amendments. Floor amendment. Offered by,
Mr. Speaker, I move for the adoption of the floor amendment.
Second.
It's already been moved. Yes, okay. It's been moved and seconded that Congress adopt the offered for amendment to CP 21-225 as offered by Chairman Ursumo. Discussion. Yes, Floor Leader Harper.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I do clearly understand the amendment written by Ursumo as read out by Chief Clerk, but I just want the necessities of the amendments. Why are we amending those?
It's explained at the bottom for a purpose, but if you want, Chairman.
I don't have the benefit of having read an amendment.
Chairman Ursumo, how about Floor Leader?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and I thank you, Floor Leader, for your question on the proposed floor amendment. The important thing of this amendment is the reduction of 15,000, as stated at the bottom of the document, and the reduction of 15,000 is specifically regarding housing. So that's what these floor amendments are attempting to do.
Okay, you understand that, Floor Leader? He's reducing someone's housing 2,000, and I don't know from how much to 2,000. So that's the
Just,
amendment. That-
Can I just kindly ask the reason why?
Well, Mr. Speaker and Mr. Florida, if you recall when we considered a report, and by the way, I did not sign the report because of what was in it. It talks quite extensively about potential conflict of interest. And then at the bottom, it supported the intent and recommend passage of the adoption of the report. So as I look at the report, talking about conflict of interest, in the item, in the issue that the Ways and Means Committee thoroughly discussed with the witnesses, I was not satisfied with the explanation from the Department of Justice and other witnesses relating to the potential conflict of interest. They should look at the conflict from all angles and not just one. And to me, there is no question that in my mind, there is a conflict of interest in this case. And therefore, that's the attempt here is to reduce the housing by 15,000. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you for the
Okay,
explanation.
thank you, Speaker.
Continue, Floor Leader.
Speaker, I now understand that it's the housing allowance for AG. Thank you so much.
Mr. Speaker.
Floor Leader. You said AG?
No,
Yes.
AG, His Excellency.
Okay. So I thought I heard you said AG. That,
Yeah, Speaker,
yes. Are you finished?
Speaker, if,
Floor Leader, are you finished?
Yeah, thank you, Speaker.
Okay,
Senator Usman.
we will now hear from
yeah.
Chairman Perman. You have the floor.
Yes, thank you, Speaker. Good morning to you. Well, good afternoon. Good noon to you and all honorable members. Speaker, so what I'm getting from the chairman of E, if the owner of the facility or the apartment or house is actually not related to that person, is he still qualified for the first proposed amendment, allowance for the housing? You're only doing this because you believe that there's a conflict of interest?
Mr. Speaker.
Chairman Rosemel, can you enlighten Chairman Perman on your reasoning? Because it doesn't.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Yeah, I look at the conflict as the number one reason why I cannot support this. And second, and why Congress should not adopt this idea. Second, when I look around in the nation, I kind of am interested in the cost of housing. And the amount requested is rather high for FSM, including in Ponape, Colonia, with CNIAP, with Bueno in Chuk, and the municipalities in Kursay. As I stated during discussion on the report, I know I have a son in Waikoloa, and they're renting a house, he and his brother and Ayapis, renting a house in Waikoloa that is 2,800. It's a 3-bedroom house with, I think, 2 bathrooms and a nice space that I see when they exercise. And it's 2,800. This is in Waikoloa, Big Island, Hawaii. And when I look at for that amount for the housing, this will be driving the cost of housing up and up and up and up and up. So instead of those renting out houses setting the price, the government will be setting the price. And who will be able to afford houses that are rented out for 3, 4, or even 2,000? 2,000 to me, much as I was against when it first came into us with the previous people, I kind of let it go painfully, but and so this is the reason why I'm begging this Congress to, for once, to check and balance of what is being done in the executive. If we continue to let things go, then like we saw this morning during the hearing, Congress, that was a clear statement. Congress didn't approve the salary increase, but the board went ahead and entered into a contract with a higher amount than what was approved by Congress. To me, nobody has power over the purse than Congress. And that's part of the reason I'm not supporting the amendment, the bill, especially on the housing. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you.
Speaker.
Chairman Ursimo,
I
for your-
continue.
Continue, Chairman Perman. Still have the floor.
Well, thank you, Speaker. After hearing the explanation coming from Chairman Ovid, I don't think this has to do with anything with conflict of interest. But Speaker, this is our president of our nation we're talking about, and I hope that we, but the request coming from his office, we honor his request. And I believe those housings that I've actually looked into it, and those housings, the cost of rental there is very high, and I hope that we honor the request coming up from the president's office or the other side, executive. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman Perman. Short recess, subject to call of the chair. So let's come back. Congress is back in session. We're still discussing the offer for amendment to CP 21-225 by Chairman Ursumal. Chairman Ursumal?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I still have the concern with this, with the housing for the president, especially with the amount for rental per month. I think it's excessive, but unfortunately, the method by which I'm trying to communicate and do something with it, I guess is beyond my effort here. So therefore, painfully, and I shall return, I will move to withdraw the proposed amendment until some days in the future. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, it's been
Second.
moved that offered for amendment by Chairman Ursumal be withdrawn, which is seconded. If there is no objection, so be it. The offered amendment by Chairman Ursumal is duly withdrawn. Okay, any further discussion on the offered
Question.
on the field?
Speaker.
225.
Speaker,
Yes, Chairman Figueroa.
thank you, Speaker. I have a proposed floor amendment. It's that I wish to offer. I so move and I ask for that we dispense with the reading of the proposed floor amendment.
Okay, it's been moved. Any second?
Okay.
It's been moved and seconded that the offered amendment by Chairman Figueroa to CP 21-225 be adopted. It is very short, Chairman Figueroa, so I will ask Chief Clerk to read it into the record, and the relevant rules are still suspended up to this point. Chief Clerk, it's a one-line, two-line amendment.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, we have a floor amendment to CP number 21-225 offered by Chairman Isaac P. Figueroa. The one item of this amendment is on page 17, line 20. Delete the figure $16,574,326 and insert $16,499,326 in lieu thereof.
Okay, there you have it. It's been already moved and seconded for adoption. So discussion on the offered floor amendment by Chairman Figueroa. Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. We're discussing the offered amendment by Chairman Figueroa. Any further discussion on it? If none, if there's no objection, discussion is closed on the offered amendment. So let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of the offered floor amendment by Chairman Figueroa to CP 21-225, say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. The offered amendments by Chairman Figueroa are adopted. We now have CD1. Any further discussion on CD1?
Speaker.
Chairman Perman, you have the floor.
Yes, Speaker, I have a floor amendment to offer on behalf of Senator Christian. I believe it's in our calendar for today. And if I may ask Chief to actually read, I so move for its adoption.
Any second? Any second?
Second. Second.
Moved and seconded that the offered floor amendment to CP 21-225 CD1 offered by Senator Christian be adopted because of its, it is short enough. The relevant rules are still suspended up to this point. Chief Clerk, would you please read that into the record? It's short enough.
Certainly, Speaker. We have a floor amendment to CP number 21-225 CD1 offered by Senator Perman on behalf of Senator Christian. Item 1 in the title, third sentence, delete $780,000 and insert $530 in lieu thereof. Item 2 on page 1, line 5, delete $71,398,570 and insert $71,648,570 in lieu thereof. Item 3 on page 17, line 20, delete the figure $16,574,326 and insert $16,749,326 in lieu thereof. Item 4 on page 22, line 21, insert subitem I, purchase and delivery of an outer island airplane, $250,000.
Good, there you have it. Discussion. Any discussion?
Speaker,
Chairman?
what is an outer island airplane?
Okay, fair enough question. Who can answer that? Chairman Perman, you want to take a shot at it?
Mr. Speaker, it's basically a replacement aircraft to the one that was damaged in the outer islands of Chuuk.
Okay, so there you have it, Chairman Figueroa, replacement of that CIA plane that got into an accident at the runway. Okay. Third recess
Yeah.
subject.
Yes, Speaker.
We're in recess. Well, we're discussing it, so let's go back. Congress is back in session. We're still discussing the offered for amendment by Senator Christian. Any further discussion on it? None?
Question.
Speaker,
Yes, who's
Speaker.
that?
Yeah, that's me, Mr. Speaker.
Malik, yeah, raise your hand so we see.
Yes, yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I see 185 for cost of the plane, 48,000 for delivery and 30,000 for contingency or balance for contingency. Is there any provision for operation?
Okay, anything
Operating
for
budget?
going to be under regular operation of CIA or Chairman Berman, you want to hear about?
Well, we have CIA. If CIA is not enough, then. But yes, CIA will be given to CIA to operate.
So it will be under the normal operation cost of CIA. Okay, so this is a replacement of the one that, got into an accident in Yanata. So the operation should be basically the same as they are operating. Okay, Senator Palik? All right.
Thank you. Thank you, Speaker.
None. If there's no objection, debate is closed.
Speaker,
Yes, John Berman. Before we vote? Oh, Romulo, sorry, yeah. Yeah, thank you for raising you have to raise your hand. Chairman Romulo, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you, Speaker. I do support the purchase of the plane, and the request. But my question is, what can CIA put up? Is anything that the CIA can put up to supplement?
Okay, who will answer that? Short versus subject to call of the chair. the motion for amendment.
All right.
Congress is back in session. We're still discussing the offered floor amendment by Chairman Christian. Chairman Perman?
Yeah, thank you very much. During recess, there's an understanding of regarding the amendment. So, Mr. Speaker, I move to withdraw the floor amendment offered. So move.
It's been moved.
Second.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. That particular amendment offered for amendment is withdrawn. So we're still discussing CP 21-225 CD1. Chairman Net, Chairman Perman, I'm sorry. The next one is Chairman Perman. Yes, you have the floor.
Short recess, so I can find my amendments.
Or is it subject to go of the chair? Yes.
tomorrow's bill calendar.
Congress is back in session. We're still discussing CP 21-225 CD1. Chairman Figueroa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to defer action on the bill to tomorrow's bill calendar.
Moved and seconded that CP number 21-225 CD1 be deferred to tomorrow's bill calendar. Those in favor of that motion say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. CP number 21-225 CD1 is deferred to tomorrow's bill calendar. So next bill, Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, we have CP number 21-218 for second reading.
Read the title.
CP number 21-218. It's a bill for an act to further amend Public Law number 20-160 as amended by Public Law number 20-166 by amending Section 2 thereof to change the allotment of certain funds previously appropriated therein, fund public projects and social programs in the state of Chuuk, and for other purposes.
Okay, Chairman Figueroa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move for the passage of the bill on second and final reading.
Let's be moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CP number 21-218. Discussion. Short recess. Call the chair. Congress is back in session. We're discussing CP 21-218. Chairman Romulo, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Wish to offer a floor amendment to the said bill. The amendment has been attached and disseminated, so I'll move for its adoption.
It's been moved and seconded that we offered for amendment to CP 21-218 offered by Chairman Romulo on behalf of Speaker be adopted. Because of its length, we will dispense with its reading. The relevant rules are still suspended up to this point. So discussion on the offered floor amendments. Any discussion? If none, if there is no objection, discussion is closed. Let us vote on the amendment. Those in favor of adoption of the offer for amendment to CP 21-218 say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. The offer for amendments to CP 21-218 adopted. We now have CD1. Any further discussion on CD1? Discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote by roll call of delegations. Chief Clerk.
State of Chuuk, Chairman Aritas.
Yes.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Perman. State of Koshai, Chairman Wali.
Yes.
State of Yap, Chairman Ursmal.
Aye.
Mr. Speaker, all the four states 4-4.
For recent CP number 21-218, CD1 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
Speaker, point of privilege.
State your point, Chairman Romulo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and good afternoon to you and members. and I rise on a point of privilege to beg the indulgence of this Congress to recognize an individual, an important individual in the community who has just stepped in and happened to observe our session. And I ask that we give him a round of applause, the principal of the Solomon Chuk Academy, Wayne Olap.
Okay, thank you for introducing that good friend of ours. I know he's looking to you for some money, and please give him some project money to Solomon Chuk Academy. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, next bill, Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, we have CP number 21-221 for second reading. CP number 21-221, the bill for an act to further amend public law number 19-124 as amended by public laws numbers 19-133, 19-140, 19-150, 20-5, 20-15, 20-33, 20-48, 20-63, 20-71, 20-156, 20-175, 21-22, and 21-50. By amending section 6 thereof to change the lapse state of funds previously appropriated therein to fund priority infrastructure projects and other programs in the state of Chuk and for other purposes.
Okay, Chairman Figueroa.
Move for the passage of the bill on second and final reading.
Any second?
Speaker.
Congress pass on second and final reading, CP number 21-221. Discussion.
Speaker.
Floor Leader Harper, you have the floor.
Speaker.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. If I may not be out of order, Mr. Speaker, I would like to divert this bill to tomorrow's bill calendar, as I have seen a new figure in our allocations, and I want to further break down on that new figure.
Okay, short recess subject to call of the chair. CP 21-221. Floor Leader Harper, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to divert the said bill to tomorrow's bill calendar.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded that CP 21-221 be deferred to tomorrow's calendar. Motion say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. CP number 21-221 is deferred to tomorrow's calendar. Chairman Perman, you have the floor.
Motion, short recess.
Recess subject to call of the chair. we do that first, then we can do first read. Congress is back in session. We're still on the bill calendar. Floor Leader Harper. Floor Leader Harper, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that this Congress reconsider its action on Bill number 21-214.
Second.
That's been moved and seconded that Congress reconsider its action on CP 21-214. It's not subject to debate, so we will vote by roll call of delegations. Chief Clerk?
State of Chuuk, Chairman Aritos. Where is he? State of Pohnpei, Chairman Perman. State of Koshai, Chairman Wali.
Yes.
State of Yap, Chairman Rosmal. Chairman Rosmal. Oh, Mr. Speaker, all the 4 states for the 4.
Okay, the motion to reconsider has passed Congress. So we now have CP 21-214 on the bill calendar. Read the title, Chief Clerk.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, CP number 21-214. This is a bill for an act to amend to amend Public Law number 20-88 by amending Section 6 thereof to change the allotee in that state of funds previously appropriated therein to fund public projects and social programs for the people of Yap, Koshai, Pohnpei, and Chuuk states, and for other purposes.
Okay, motion to recommit to committee. Chairman, Floor Leader Harper.
Speaker, motion to recommit.
Any second?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that said bill 21-214 be recommitted to committee. Those in favor of that motion say yes. Opposed, no.
Yes.
CP number 21-214 is hereby recommitted to committee. So next bill.
There are none, Mr. Speaker.
Speaker, I yield the floor to Chairman Romulo.
The floor has been yielded to you, Chairman Romulo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much, Chairman Perman. I wish to offer the withdraw CP number 21-229 and place onto this agenda. Second.
It has been moved and seconded that CP number 21-229 be withdrawn from committee and placed on the bill calendar for first reading action. Those in favor of that motion say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. CP number 21-229 withdrawn from committee, placed on the bill calendar for first reading action.
So recess, please.
Short recess subject of there. Read the title.
Mr. Speaker, CB number 21-229 is a bill for an act to amend Public Law number 21-52 by amending the title and sections 1 and 2 thereof to change the purpose, use, allotee, and lapse date of the funds previously appropriated therein for the purpose of funding the purchase of a vessel for Chuk State and for other purposes.
Okay, Chairman Figueroa.
Move for the passage of the bill.
Any second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded that Congress pass on first reading CP number 21-229. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, there is no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote by roll call of members. Chief Clerk.
Senator Aritos,
Yes.
Senator Christian, Senator Figueroa,
Abstain lagap ganda no. Lokoy ayong well.
Senator Figueroa,
Yes.
Senator Coolant, Senator Coolant, Floor Leader Harper,
Amen.
Senator Conman,
Amen.
Vice Speaker Moses,
Hey,
Senator Ned, Senator Palik,
Abstain.
Senator Palik? Where is he? He muted this,
Yes.
it's okay. Senator Perman,
Abstain.
Senator Romulo,
Yes to the second power.
Senator Orsmal,
For the people of Satawan, yes.
Senator Wally,
For the people of Wallan, yes.
Speaker Simina,
Because I don't have any share in that, yes.
Mr. Speaker, 12 members voted for.
CP number 21-229 has passed Congress on first reading. Next bill.
There are none, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman.
Motion to stand in recess till tomorrow at 10 a.m. Speaker time.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded that Congress stand in recess until short recess subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. We're on that motion to stand in recess. So let's vote. Those in favor of the motion say yes.
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 Carried. Congress now stands in recess until tomorrow at 10 in the morning, Chuk time.